From a life of struggle to a life of success. This is the story of Ali Swaleh, the director of EverMage Ltd.
I am the founding director of EverMage Ltd. This is a family business that I started off with my wife in 2014. I'm a Kenyan, proud Kenyan. I'm married with 3 lovely children. I was born in South B to a single mother, and almost always it's not a very easy life, but God bless mothers. My mom always gave it her best effort. She used to get support from her sisters, who are my aunts, and they're all around to date. Unfortunately, we lost my mom in 2004, but she brought us up in an environment where there was a lot of difficulty. We went to Plainsview Primary School, which is a public school, and as everyone knows, education is not very easy in such environments. Lack of resources, lack of books and all that, but where there's a will, there's always a way. So the will to succeed was always there, and thankful to God for that. We were able to pass primary school with good marks. Of course, like the story of every other Kenyan, picking a secondary school comes down to availability of funds. So the only school that she could afford at that time was Highway Secondary School. And I had a nice time in high school. The 4 years were, I believe, some of the best years of my life. We got a good education. My interest in especially chemistry was really taken to another level there. Had very nice teachers, and here we are today.
According to Swaleh, it takes more than a great idea to become a successful entrepreneur.
I was employed for quite some time, and I did enjoy the period of employment. But I think entrepreneurship is some sort of calling, if I may call it that. There's that aspect of you want to do something your way. You want to try something new. You want to do things at your own pace, how you want them. That was, I feel, for me, the biggest motivator. Yes, I did want to become an entrepreneur, but at the same time, during employment, you find, unfortunately, sometimes in the departments where you're in, there are a lot of limitations. Especially the person who is probably your supervisor or the person in charge. To a certain extent, the department has to run according to how they want it. They're not willing to try out new things, new ideas, new technology. So for me, that was the biggest motivator. I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I wanted to do things my own way. I just wanted to do things differently.
Being an expert in paint manufacturing, Swaleh cites what makes their company's paint outstanding.
The name itself, I came up with it from everlasting image. Hence the name EverMage, and our slogan is creating everlasting images. So by default, of course, having worked in a paint business, that was our first line of work. I registered the business in 2014, February 18th, I have the date in mind. And we started off with paint application. Basically, we would come, you give us the job of painting your building. And we did that for a period of about 1.5 years with the intention of setting up manufacturing. And that is how we came up with our own brands of our economy range of Mwananchi and our premium range of Malaika. We have always been proudly Kenyan, and we wanted anything and everything associated with our company to have that Kenyan feel to it. There's nothing more Kenyan than Swahili. When I said we are trying to do things differently, is the sense that anything construction related has always been seen as a very expensive venture. Someone wants to build, someone wants to paint, someone wants to... It looks very expensive. So for us, what we were looking at doing is find a way of making things that are actually quality, but at the same time affordable. I don't want to use the word cheap. I want to use affordable, because cheap is always associated with something that is substandard. So what makes our paints different is that we are a local brand trying to sell you a premium product at a pocket-friendly price. I believe there is a lot of opportunity in this line of work, whereby people can be able to do their construction work without necessarily breaking the bank. Basically, a solution that cuts across all categories in our country.
In addition to paint manufacturing, there are other projects undertaken.
So, started off in 2014, started manufacturing end of 2015, and as we moved along, we brought in other relevant lines to this line of work, because of course painting involves construction and other related fields. So I can say to date, where we are 2022, we are doing more than just paint manufacture and apply. We are experts in waterproofing, wastewater recycling, flooring solutions, and in the recent 1 year or so, we've actually even moved into outright construction work. It has been a crazy journey, especially if you look at the COVID period. But I believe, like I said, entrepreneurship is a calling. The number of times you feel you have gotten to the end and you want to give up, God sends you a sign. Like, it's not yet your time to go. Hold on a little bit. So that has been the case. And I can say I am proud of what we have achieved so far.
When individuals work together and trust one another, it allows them to feel safe and comfortable at the workplace.
What I've come to learn over the years of doing this work, and part of the reason that actually made us venture into other fields relevant to ours, is because in construction work there is a lot of overlap in what people do, but many a times people don't relate to how their work affects someone else. So in the line of painting, the fault that you showed me is paint related, and it's a common problem. People find blisters in their paint and all that. That is a problem of water leakages. The water leakage can be from your roof, from your plumbing, from your washroom. So if you do not take care of this water leakage first, and you come and do a paint job using the best paint in the world, best painter in the world to do the work, it will still fail, because the paint is not designed to stop leakages. It's a decorative product. There are other products that are designed to do that. So for us, we like offering our clients solutions, not just selling you a product. If I come to your project, I need to understand what is your challenge, what do you want to achieve, and offer you a solution that will match that. You find very many times when you are the entrepreneur, you have that whole business at heart. It's your baby. It's everything to you. It's either make or break. You have to just get it done. For me, I'm grateful that I have my wife, whom we work together, co-director, massive support from her, and family also plays a big role in that, because every time you feel you have reached the end, they're there to show you what positive you have done so far and that you can achieve much more. I believe it's all a matter of just being pushed to continue. Entrepreneurs, many a times people get into it without really doing that much research about what they want to do. See, when you have the passion for what you want to do, you're able to find a way of getting it done.
The company, he says, has had a great impact on the community.
Yeah, so in the community we are trying to provide quality products, quality services, and solutions that last. And at the same time, other than that business aspect of it, we have always tried our best to always take part in any project or projects that helped in developing the community. Basically CSR projects. You will find in the community there's sometimes where they want to do maybe an orphanage, maybe a public washroom or things like that. So we've always tried our best to participate in whatever capacity that we can. It could be technical, it could be products, it could be financial donations and all that. And it has been very positive for us because people feel and appreciate your presence amongst them. Our factory is based in Syokimau. We always, example, cooperate with Syokimau is part of Machakos County. So there's the local offices for Mavoko sub-county who have their health and sanitation department. They always have hand washing days, AIDS, those kind of activities. So we always try our best to support, whether in donations, in taking part and all that. Recently we did a project with this guy is called iAfrica in conjunction with Landmark Holdings. They were building a rehabilitation center for street children. So we took part in the finishing of that project. This is an important thing for us because that is a place where some of the youth that are actually getting lost on the streets are taken in, rehabilitated, taken to school, and actually end up becoming, doing something meaningful with their lives. We've had many instances of religious centers and all who would want maybe technical advice. Sometimes they would want paints and products like that we always give significant discounts for them to be able to meet the budget requirements. So there have been quite a number. We try our best to participate in as much as possible.
In comparison to the first job he took on, Ali sees a tremendous difference.
Right after high school, I applied for that position of internship at a paint manufacturing company. It was called Grand Paints, and one of the biggest manufacturers at that time. The brand used to be called Contractor. So the only opportunity I could be given at that point in time, because of course I was just fresh out of high school, waiting to go to university, was that of an intern, basically to do filing work. So of course, given my background and the fact that we were not very financially established and all that, and of course at that point in time is when you realize you're becoming a man, just turned 18, and for a man you have to be able to stand up for yourself. So when I got the opportunity, I was not able to afford the bus fare to go to work, and even if I was, it was a very big cycle, because you have to leave South B, go to town in Swaleh and all that. So there was a route that we could actually use to walk through South B, through slum, and come out at industrial area. And it used to be, I look at it now and I see it used to be a very educational walk, because from South B going there, by the time you get to work, you appreciate the fact that you've actually made it to work. It was not very easy. In fact, after the first 4 or 5 months, you would actually walk on the main road so that someone who knows you might see you and give you a lift. The job I was given was to do filing, and it was a whole huge room that needed files rearranged. I can never forget, because it took me 3 months to rearrange that place, and it was crazy. It taught me very, very important lessons in life. They say an empty pocket, an empty stomach can teach you some of the best lessons in life. I learned that the hard way, because you would get there and there was no opportunity to go for lunch or anything like that, because ideally you can't afford it. So you just get to work as early as possible and finish as late as possible, because I could not work at night. So I had to leave before 6 so that I make it back on time. The best thing about it is that that made some of my supervisors and bosses notice me, because I would work without complaints. So whenever an opportunity came up of a slightly better job, I used to be considered. And at that point in time, I was supposed to go do medicine. Of course, we could not afford it. So I decided to just go and do accounts. Evening classes at Strathmore, work during the day to sort of try and supplement the fees. I would get partial scholarships sometimes, and it helped. So slowly, with that effort, that need and that urge to learn, I moved from that department, became an assistant in a procurement office, and with time eventually ended up being the general manager of that company, right below the director, simply because of hard work, honesty, and that dedication.
He has had a number of achievements, among them being nominated and awarded for Top 40 Under 40 Men in 2017.
That it has been and is still quite a milestone for me in my life. To date, I've not been able to identify who nominated me, because apparently the process is all incognito. Someone nominates you, they conduct some, I don't know, some surveys and all that. Then you're interviewed, and depending on how you perform in the interview, you're actually selected. So for me, I received that call from Nation Media. You were nominated. Who nominated me? I don't know. We would like to interview you for this specific thing. So booked the appointment. They came all the way to the factory, did the interview, explained and all that. And to be honest, I left it at that. I did not really expect to be selected. Fast forward a few months down the line, I've always been interested in the newspaper Business Daily. Has more of business, less of politics, obviously. So everyone knows that I've always liked reading that paper. In fact, in our neighborhood, I still live in South P. In our neighborhood, the guy who sells the newspapers is someone who has been doing that specific job since I was in nursery school, for over 30 years. So this is someone who has seen me being taken to school by my mom, and now eventually he sees me taking my own kids. So those are the first people who actually saw that I had been chosen. Received calls as early as 6 a.m. Have you got your paper? I said no. So I usually pick it on my way to drop the kids to school. You need to go and have a look. What is there? Just go check it out. So and I remember when I'm driving, going to school, the guy usually sells the newspapers on the side of the road, and there was quite a bit of a crowd. The local guy is there. When I stopped, he was there, very happy and very proud, like any father would be, because he considers himself Mzee wetu. And he had the newspaper, and I had actually been chosen as one of the finalists for the top 40 under 40. So, of course, happiness, pride, emotions, roller coaster, and it was excellent. It felt really nice. I did not believe I would actually get it, but the fact that I was chosen, interviewed, and actually qualified to be part of that has been one of the best moments in my life. Of course, there was the whole award ceremony and appearing in subsequent newspapers and all that. So it was something of pride, going to take the award and all that, and the whole family. Because when I started this journey of entrepreneurship, there was a lot of negativity to match the positivity. Everyone would be like, are you sure you want to do this? Why would you want to leave a job? And you understand? So that sort of like made me feel that I had achieved something as an entrepreneur.
We need to be more of a solution rather than a problem.
To the young people, to the youth, my advice would be that you can't choose where you came from, but you can choose where you want to go. You can have very simple rules that you live by that actually guide you to become better, guide you to success. You can simply ask yourself whether you want to be part of a solution or part of a problem at hand. Because directly or indirectly, we always contribute to our success or our failure. They say every time you point a finger, 3 are pointing back at you. That, what did you do about it? Yes, there can be better environment. Yes, there can be better opportunities. But you as a person, what are you doing about it?